Today, the next artist to be interviewed is Benedict Klöckner. He was born in Germany, but he lives currently in France, and he's one of the artists on Music Without Quarantine who's been playing from the very early first concert. I think is every week we can see him play his cello, and actually he plays it fantastically. But as you may have known because of the two previous interviews, we'd like to have a different approach on these interviews, and we want to know the person. We would like to get to know Benedict Klöckner. So Benedict, it's an honor and a pleasure to have you here. And could you tell us, when you look back in your life, when was the first moment you said, "Oh, I want to play the cello"?
I think the first moment when I kind of fell in love with the cello was when my older brother, who used to play the violin, he played in a piano trio. And as a little boy, I was maybe 6, 7 years old, I turned the pages for the pianist. And I still remember they were playing Mendelssohn D minor trio, which starts with this beautiful cello solo. And that was the first time when I heard this incredible warm chocolate-like sound. I thought, okay, that's the instrument I want to play, because before I had played piano and violin, but the cello was really my big love.
Right. Was it easy for you to get a cello? I mean, because when you are little, instruments must be little, and then you grow up and the instruments must be bigger and bigger and bigger, I guess.
Yeah, so first when I told my parents that I want to play the cello, they were like a bit skeptical. Really, and where do we get a cello? And so like I had to insist a bit, and around 9 I started to get my first cello lesson. And actually I have to say, because we didn't found a small cello, I started directly on a big one. And that's also because why my hands are so different. My left hand is much bigger than the
true.
Than the
can you show us again? This is very interesting.
Yeah, it's like around 1.5 centimeters. So like,
is that just due to the exercise on the cello?
Yeah, exactly. It's like the left hand developed more, like grew more. Because on the big cello you have to like really stretch your fingers, and so that was like a good training for the fingers.
Right. Who were your teachers, your professors? And when I'm asking you this question, it's not just because I want to know who they are, but I'd like to know what they taught you. Apart from the musical skills, what did you learn from your teachers, music teachers?
So I actually started, my first teacher was the trio partner of my brother's trio, and he was a Spanish cellist, Gabriel Mesado. And it was very nice. He wrote me little pieces I would play, and then I was at I had Austrian teacher, Martin Rummel. He gave me very good basic. I studied all the scale studies, and he was a student of William Pleas, and it was very, very interesting. And afterwards, I was for I think 12, 13 years with a German professor, Martin Ostertag, who was like really an incredible teacher who really taught me so many things musically, technically, also humanly. He was like really taught in a very personal way, was very demanding. And that was like really fantastic experience. He also, when I was 17, he gave me his Guarneri cello so that I could play on it, and it was like really an incredible experience musically and humanly. And afterwards, I was at the Kronberg Academy Academy, which was also really something I'm incredibly thankful for, that I could be part of that, because I really had the chance there to work with the world's greatest artists. So
Hmm.
my cello teachers were Franz Hammerson and Gary Hoffman, who were like both incredible, kind, and also uh, very wonderful teachers. Like, I learned so much about music and how you can express yourself on the cello, and also all the other instruments. You know, at the academy we also had lessons by conductors like Barenboim or Rattle, and I don't know, Andras Schiff, and
Wow.
also a lot of violinists like Gidon Kremer, and it was like really some, yeah, outstanding experience. I really have to say, something you take with you your whole life, I think.
Right.
um,
And this is what you've learned from your teachers or people you've met in your life. What do you think, or what would you like your students would learn from you?
I think first of all, I think the first step is the love to the music, because if you care about something, you also try to do it as well as possible. And of course, like when we play an instrument, it's very necessary to have the basics. So like, it's both. It's like the technique and the artistry which needs to come together, and often it's like really goes hand in hand. So I would really like to give them the means they need to express themselves on the instrument.
Right. And where do you exactly come from in Germany? It's just out of curiosity.
I'm actually from the Rhine region, so southwestern Germany, near France. It's
Hmm.
a beautiful area with a lot of vineyards, castles, rivers. Um,
Was it the reason why you moved to France, or it has nothing to do with it?
no, actually, that has had nothing to do with that. I was also some time in Berlin, and I moved to France. Um, Actually, I followed my girlfriend because
Okay.
she got a job here, so I kind of followed.
Okay, good. So, you know, Paris is the city of love. This is what they
Also,
say.
yes, yes, it's a city of love, and I have to say, it's also really like a very inspiring place to be. It's so magically beautiful, this whole surrounding, and also all the museums, and it's like really great place to be. And if you look like how many great composers and writers and painters were here, it's like, I think, a good place to be as an artist.
And Benedict, what drives you as a person?
What drives me? I think it's like I follow the things I love to do and which I love. And so, I mean, life is short, so I try to concentrate on that what is important to me. And this is, of course, a very big part of that is the music and the cello. So a big part of my day is playing the cello, basically.
Basically. And just to finish, what would be your message for those young people who usually don't listen to classical music, and they might mm, see one of your videos on Music Without Quarantine or anywhere else? Um, what will be your message for them? I'm not talking about strictly from the musical point of view, but you as a person, what would you like them to get from you, apart from your music, of course?
Uh, I would say, in general, like, to keep an open attitude, not only maybe to that video or like to how I play, but to keep the ears open and discover new things. That's for me the same. If I maybe discovered some non-classical piece, that you just like let the emotions of this music speak to you and allow yourself to open up to maybe a world you might actually start to love. And that's what I would say.
Good. Benedict, thank you very much. As always, it's a real pleasure to have you either playing or speaking. Really, really, really
Thanks so
interesting.
much. It was a pleasure.
And
Likewise.
it's and just to one more thing to say on my part is that I'm really, really, really happy that you are playing on Music Without Quarantine every Wednesday. I really enjoy it. You are
Thanks
a
so
great
much.
musician, a great cellist.
It's really a pleasure. I mean, we have to take the chances this crisis is offering us, and that's one of the wonderful things, to be connected with musicians all over the world, actually through the internet. And I have to say, I also enjoyed every time so much. I discovered some new musicians, which I started to really love their artistry, and it's a real discovery for me. So I'm glad to be part of it.
Thank you very much.